just chilling here outside. I'm actually pitch side in the Westway Sports Centre. That's near Latimer Road station. It's in West London, Northwest London. About to do another review for you guys, so yeah, hold tight.
This is toxic, I know. Cut it off from now, man, I should.
Now this is a place I only just started coming recently. I think I've had a few 11-a-side games here, and I've had a few 8-a-side games here. You know, I used to play here with a few colleagues from work. I'll start off by telling you about what the complex is like itself in the centre. The front desk, as you walk through the doors, it's very professional. They've got reception, they've got people always staffed there as long as it's open. You know, never an absence of people. It's gated, so you do have to be a member to get through the turnstiles. You can't just walk into the complex. As you walk in, to your right-hand side, I think they're sponsored by Crush, which is a superfood company. But they do have a stand or a section called Fit Food, which I thought was quite good because I haven't seen anywhere else them actually have food dedicated to exercise. They usually have snacks and vending machines now. Whilst it has vending machines and snacks here, it actually does cater to people who are conscious about what they eat, and especially coming out of the gym or doing whatever activity you've done here, you're not just going to want to go and smash a burger. So they've got really good healthy choices here for anyone looking for good food. Staff are friendly, you know, I asked them a few questions, they took their time, they helped me out. What's really impressive is the amount of sports it caters to. There's rock climbing here, there's tennis, there's fencing courts, there's a gym, you name it. There's obviously the football pitches and the swimming pool. It's got industrial parking with downstairs parking space, so if you need to park here and if you've driven, you know, you're never going to be out of space. It's really good. I mean, it is situated under a motorway bridge, so that does kind of affect the football pitches, but as for the complex itself, it's really massive, always vibrant, and there are always a lot of people there. It's not a laddish culture as you will find at one of the soccer centres, but it's really a family place where you have kids, everybody from all ages, from children right all the way through to elderly people, coming to do their workout, come to do their different form of sport and enjoy themselves, so it's really good. I'm getting into the changing rooms now. Now, you can't go into the complex changing rooms if you're only playing football. Now, I told you, you can't get through the turnstiles unless you're part of the club, because it is a gym club. So if you're not a member of the club, you can't get into the gym to use those changing rooms, but you can use the free changing rooms which are in the swimming complex. Now those changing rooms, they're actually pretty cool. They have a real football dressing room feel. They've got like circular benches, you know, situated so you would have to be sitting in a huddle of some sorts. Pegs on the wall for each individual person's shirts. And then the benches are really quite close, nice and round, so I can imagine team talks going on in there and managers kind of, you know, wagging the finger, spinning around, talking to everybody. It's got that real feel to it. And it's quite old school as well. The benches aren't modern, they're wooden old benches, so it really has a rustic feel to it. It's quite good. The showers, 4 or 5 separate showers that they have, not the greatest, not amazingly clean, but they are cubicles, which means that you can have your privacy, you can close the door, you don't have to be standing next to your teammates, you know, and comparing wangs and all of that stuff. I think it's really good for you to come here as a football team. There's a home and away changing room. There's 2 male changing rooms, 2 female, so it caters for 2 teams, and I think that's what they're trying to get here. It's really mainly for the 11-a-side players. I think they just let the 5, 6 and 8-a-side players just go and do their thing. So the pitches are, I don't know, this is where I think this place gets let down a little bit. It could do so much better. First of all, since I've been coming here, and I started coming here like 2 years ago, I haven't come here often, but it feels like the pitches have not been relayed in that time. I always tend to come here in the hotter months, and it just seems like when it gets really hot here, the pitch really does dry up. I mean, I wear AstroTurfs on 3G everywhere else I play, and I played in the sun in different places, and I never get the sensation that I'm kind of running in quicksand and it's really sticky. Here I always get that. Towards the end of the day, when you're in the open sun, my feet actually start to hurt and feel like they're being burnt, and the rubber's being burnt because the grass is getting so hot. That might be to do with excessive amounts of rubber crumb in the pitch, I don't know, but it's something that doesn't really make it a pleasant playing experience. And when you're trying to pass the ball, or when you're trying to do anything along the ground, especially in the summer when the pitch dries out, it's really, really frustrating. You end up misplacing passes or playing the ball too short because the ball really adheres to the ground, which isn't a great part of the pitch. I mean, as far as size, the 11-a-side pitch is great. It's almost like the new camp. It's massive, it's wide, it's spacious. It's actually got some seats on the side. I'll just turn the camera so you can see them. So if you're a fan and you want to come down here and watch a game, it's really good for that. A lot of places don't do that and don't encourage people to actually sit and watch, so hopefully I'll be bringing a few people to come and watch me soon. But as far as that's concerned, that's probably the best part of the pitch. It's got different types of goals. It's got your standard 7-a-side goals, standard 8-a-side goals, 6-a-side, 5-a-side, and 11-a-side goals. And on the 11-a-side pitch, you can actually divide it up and rent it out. You can divide it up and rent it out as you please, and then use whichever goals you want to use, which is quite good. So nobody has to try and use the small goals. I know there's places where you get rented out 11-a-side pitch or 8-a-side pitch, and you have to use 5-a-side goals. Here it caters for everything, and you're free to just roll them in and out of the pitch as you please. So that's a good point. But I do think the pitch is too sticky on all of the surfaces, whether they're 5, 6, 8, all of those. I do think it's a little bit sticky. So they would do well relaying the turf and actually removing some of the rubber crumb, just so that in the summer months the heat doesn't kind of connect to your foot and start to burn your feet here. As far as the goals for each size, yeah, they're really good. It is quite a good pitch. I mean, if you want to play open, expansive football, it's good for you to open up. It's good for you to be a side that's, wants to pass, but then the pitch doesn't allow you to do that so well. So it's a bit of a catch-22, a bittersweet moment. Getting on to the price. Now here, I asked at the front desk, because I play through footyaddicts.com, and I got a game for £6. But I asked at the front desk if you wanted to rent an 8-a-side pitch of your own accord, how much would it cost? So essentially, if you want to play off-peak, which is £38 price, that is essentially £4.75, just under a fiver, to play for an hour with 8 people. And if you want to play in a peak time, which is evenings and weekends, that's £7. Now, that's not too expensive. I think that's quite reasonable. If you can get it cheaper, do it. But I think that's quite reasonable for a pitch here, and such a great complex. It is actually quite spacious. All the pitches are quite big and spacious. They do cater for space. You do have time on the ball. It's not really tight-knit that you're having to pass every move. You can run with the ball a bit. So for people who like to dribble, this is perfect for you. But I think you will find that the pitch just does slow you down a touch. But overall, I think the complex is good. For the amount of sports they cater to and the age groups they cater to, that's something I really like, because I like people getting involved with sports. I like to see a community brought together to play sports, whatever you're doing, and doing it in the same place. No trouble here. It's quite safe. But I will say that the bridge above some of the 8-a-side and 6-a-side pitches does let it down, because the ball hits it a lot, and it's not pleasant when you try and play a long ball and it just comes off the bridge and comes straight back down. So that does let it down a bit. So essentially, this place is a great place in terms of the stature and the size and the kind of different sports they cater to. I really think it's a good thing when the community comes together and does a sport, and whatever that sport is, whether you're an elderly person or a young person. I really like places that bring people together like that, and especially if they cater for a lot of football. Letdowns are the pitch and the bridge above the pitches. I think that really hampers the football when you play a long pass and it hits the bridge and comes back down. It really does mess up your game. So I think I'm going to give this place a 6. I think it's somewhere that has a lot of potential. It's got the right kind of set size. It's got the right features in it. It caters for a lot of sports. It's got, the nice seated area by the 11-a-side pitch where people can come and watch. It's got a whole load of pitches, but the pitches themselves and the fact it's under a bridge again just do let it down. So I give the Westway Centre and Latimer Road a 6 out of 10. Till the next review, I hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching.
My face known in the city more than all the Rams. 400,000 in your face, nigga, no advance. Fuck waiting on your approval, I'ma feed the fam.